degas the dough a bit. I always found myself either tossing on Wrigley Field or doing something in Chicago, and I fell in love with Italian beef. I fell in love with thin crust, which a lot of people in California say, oh, Chicago, you do deep dish. Most Chicagoans would say, no, no, no. We're not known for deep dish. We're known for a thin crust pizza that's cut into squares. So I started researching it. I looked into, you know, how to make it a little crispier, how to change it up a bit. And when I looked at that, I went with, and for mine, I went with Sarasota flour. It's that flour that I feel, if you're making Chicago pizza, it's the flour to use. You know, I have a lot of recipes. I wrote the Pizza Bible, and whenever I make my Chicago thin in my restaurants, I'm using Sarasota. There's about 5 to 10%, depending on my recipes, of cornmeal and Sarasota. So I have my cornmeal. I'll go ahead and scrape that off. Flip it over. Grab some more cornmeal. So some people put it through a sheeter. I'm going to roll mine out. Flip it over. Roll it out. Flip it over. Start to roll it out and degas the dough a bit. Pick it up, stretch it. If I wanted to leave it on the table, if I stretch it, I'm on the edge. Albert Grande, right in the front row. Is it peace, earth, and pizza? Is that what it is?
Pizza therapy.
Or earth, peace, pizza? Or is pizza first? So I'll stretch it out, 13 ouncer. Get it to the size that I want. I like to look at a template depending on the size that I want. I know it's big enough, a little bit small. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger because they could have got me a bigger pan. I'm gonna use a dough knocker. I'm gonna knock out the gas in this. Stretch it out and do a little parbake. Now, most Chicagoans don't do a parbake. I do. I prefer it. Can I have that big pizza? Thank you. I'll land it right there. Yeah. So, this is a little hot because it was on my oven. Re-stretch it out. And I'm going to land it in my oven for that parbake. Right behind you. Land it in. Pull it out. I'm going to cook that for about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, give or take. And I'm going to wrap those when they come out. It's going to kind of look like this. Almost looks like a tortilla. And when we go through service and we do our parbakes and we have them stacked and decompressing, I'm going to grab that parbake, sauce it, cheese it, do whatever I need to do and get it in. So I have a two-step process in a lot of things that I do when it comes to pizza. Not every traditionalist likes it, but then again, I don't care because I always want to fine-tune it and make it crispier or maybe a faster bake, or I look at things and try and make it, how do you make it a little better? That's just something that I do. A lot of people don't like that, but then there's a lot of people that took this method everywhere. Anthony Scardino, Anthony B. Look at a lot of guys across the nation that are doing it right now and getting a lot of write-ups. So, I grab my parbake. I'm gonna grab my sauce. My sauce is a little, maybe could be considered a little sweeter when it comes to a standard Chicago thin. I use Tomato Magic with a little bit of Super Dolce. I blend it, with an immersion blender. When you do a thin crust, you really want to sauce as far to the edge as possible. Some people go all the ways to the edge. I like to go almost all the ways to the edge. I don't want to dirty up my oven too much with ingredients falling out, but I want to get close. I use a combination of a couple cheeses. I like to use a little bit of white cheddar. You can add a little bit of provolone, just a touch, because that's a much stronger cheese. And then 100% whole milk grande mozzarella. You can use part skim or East Coast blend if you want. Now, as I go around, I'm going to push this to the sauce line. I want to follow my cheese with that sauce line. A little bit of grande goes a long way. I'm going to push that out to my sauce line. I'm kind of following that line. Clean the border. And now I'm going to top it. So I'm a cup and char guy. I've been for many, many years. Traditionally, Chicago had ingredients, cheese on top. It's kind of a traditional deluxe or something. Cup and char is a pepperoni that isn't traditionally masked under it because you want it to cup and you want it to char. So when it goes into my style of a tavern, which when I introduced it and started doing it years and years ago, I put my cheese and I put my ingredients on top. A lot of guys are like, why do you do it that way? That's the wrong way. That's not how we do it. Yeah, but you got to understand the ingredient that we use. And usually a lot of the 14, 16 cut, the bigger pepperonis that lay flat and don't cut, it's okay to put the cheese on top. I'm not worried about ingredients falling off of my tavern pizza because my tavern pizza is going to be like that. It's not going to be, have a limb. So, cup and char sausage and cup and char pepperoni. It's a new ingredient that's getting popular, cup and char sausage. Something that Fontanini released a little bit ago, and we're going to use two different types of sausages on here. When it comes to Chicago, the most sausage used in the industry is used in Chicago, the most sausage used. So we have our cup and char pepperoni, we have our cup and char sausage,